Hi, yeah, and welcome back to another episode of the Lex and Lace podcast. Hope everyone's doing well. It's Pride Month. For all those who don't know,
Good.
as you can hear, as you can hear, we have a guest today, and we have someone. This is round two. Welcome back, Inez. You're
Hello.
back.
I'm, um, hello
How are
again,
you
everybody.
today? I'm not gonna ask you how we met. Everybody heard that the first time round. The allegation, listen, we are beating the allegations. We are beating the allegations.
We are still friends, guys.
We are still friends. It's been 5 months,
Oh,
5, 6 months of friendship.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Only
that's like,
friendship for those of you who
oh,
speculate.
I feel like you're like really emphasizing the friendship thing to the point where like if I was listening, I wouldn't believe it. But anywho.
Why are you giving them a reason, man? Oh my God.
New allegations,
Oh my,
new tea.
forget it. Believe what you want at this point.
Guys.
I'm
Lexi's too
friends with
busy
her.
hopping across Africa, so
Lol.
anywho.
Anywho, in this Pride Month, what are we gonna get into today? What are we gonna get into? What do you feel like getting into?
Well, I feel like it would be interesting to talk about like our coming out experiences because I feel like mine was a bit mad. Like, but yeah, maybe we talk about that to start with.
That's a good one. Let's hear about it. And the next segment, let's do it. Yeah, so how was your coming out story? Since you said it was yours was interesting. Mine wasn't it. You know what? I feel like I never really came out. I was just out because
Uh,
I think I came out to my mom and my sister, and that was emotional. But like, apart
mm.
from that, everybody I just, yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, I feel like I always kind of knew that like, well, actually no. I think that I found women attractive.
Right.
And like growing up, I feel like I was always like the person that would be staring at the cute girl a bit longer than everyone else. And I feel like there was people that I really wanted to be friends with, but when I look back, I'm like, oh, that was probably a crush that I just didn't realize. Um, and yeah, like it was only when I got to uni, actually, my first year of uni, that I was like, oh. So we must have been at a like in someone's kitchen at uni, just drinking, vibing, and there was a girl there, and I was like, oh, she's cute. And like I started to think about her in more than like a kind of
Wait a
friendship
minute.
way.
Who is this that you were thinking about them like this?
Not you, sorry, not yet. That comes in 2 years'
I
time.
was about to be. I
Um,
know it's not me, but I was like, wait a minute. Who is this girl that you were
um, this, oh, yeah, can I? I don't know if you'd remember, but she like was friends with
that group? I know what kitchen you're talking about, so I'm just trying to pinpoint.
yeah, but I don't think she was gay. But maybe she was, I don't know. Like I feel like now like I have a better gaydar, but like at the time I feel like I was, obviously still figuring out things. So but like yeah. And I just remember like I was having these thoughts and then like I was just I was like, what's going on? Like, am I gay? Like, do I like women? And the whole room like started spinning. And I feel like part of that was probably due to the fact that like I was under the influence of alcohol as well. But like everything was spinning. And I'm like, I don't know, it's just like you've gone your whole life thinking, oh, I just like men. What a sad life. And then and then you and then
I'm
you
so
were
sorry to
like,
the streets.
no, honestly, like it like yeah, I do not envy you
Damn, I've stopped
guys.
apologizing for people. Last time I had to apologize for white people.
Oh, yeah,
Last time I
that's a
have to
long day.
apologize to the straights.
Yeah,
Who's
no,
next? I have to apologize to men. I don't know about that one.
oh no, never. I would never apologize to a man. Anywho, and then yeah, I just remember like I was like, I need to leave the room. So like I left the room and I remember I was like sitting in the corridor
Mhm.
and I remember Lexi, you came over to me. I don't know if you remember this, and you were like,
Right.
you came down next to me and you were like, you are safe, you are loved. da da da, you're trying to like ground me. I was like,
I
oh,
was
she's a
so
good
woke.
friend. Like I remember like that was like the first time thinking, oh, like, she's a good friend, da 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 da.
Oh, I don't actually
And
right, I
then
remember that vaguely.
do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
like
Because
kind
you
of
seem like,
me.
yeah, you seem like you were out of it. And I was like, damn, has she never been high before?
It wasn't even that, babe. I was just having like an existential crisis
I
because I just realized that I liked women, like, So
started.
then, and then I remember like I threw up,
Oh,
and I think one of our friends, like, pulled my hair back and let me like, throw up something in my hair, and then I lay down, and he we had this friend, and he would always like, I would always get him to play with my baby hairs because he's like, to this day, the only person that would do it for hours and won't stop. Like I don't have to get him to keep on doing it. He would happily play with my baby hairs for hours, and it was like the most relaxing thing. So he was doing that, playing with my baby hairs, and then I fell asleep. And then yeah, that was like my kind of that well, it's not that's the kind of like start of like me figuring out things. And then after that, I remember I FaceTimed my I think it was the next day, I was like, I need to tell someone. And I FaceTimed my like lesbian friend, that I made at uni. And then she yeah, no, she's like, oh my God, like well done, like, like and like yeah, and then I think I remember after that it was very much just me like kind of I then, like Lexi said, I kind of was testing the waters where I was like, guys, like I don't remember what did I say to you guys? I was like,
I
oh,
remember you
like
being
how
like,
did you know you
oh,
liked
I
women?
think I,
Or
yeah, yeah, that's what you asked us. You're like, oh, I think I do too. And I was like, oh, that's so
did I
good.
tell you then, or was it kind of like me asking, just like figuring out if you did? Like, because I think I didn't say straight away to you guys that I liked women, I think. Or was it, did I? Because I feel like it
It
wasn't the
felt
same
like you
day.
did and you didn't at the same time, but you were definitely wondering. And like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, she probably is. She and dinner.
Lol.
Oh, no, she probably.
Be in denial. No, I wasn't even in denial. Just genuinely, it was one of those things where I just didn't even realize. Like, it was like, I just always like, I was like men, like, like I don't know how, but like it was men. And I think I was attracted to women, but I never thought anything of it. And then, yeah, literally when I got to uni, I was like, oh, actually. So then, yeah, and then like I told like the first person in my family I told actually was my grandma. And she took it well. She was fine. Like all my family, like I think I'm very blessed and grateful that all my family are accepting of me. And then like it's weird because I told everyone, but like my mom, she was the last person I told because I wasn't sure what her reaction would be and I was quite nervous. But
Right.
I told my auntie, my uncle, and they were like, Inez, we love you no matter like gay straight and it's like when they did the kind of overcompensated thing,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, thank you. And like I told like my dad, my stepmom, like everyone was pretty chill. And then like yeah, like my mom was like the last person I told, and yeah, she was just like, oh, I always had a feeling. And
Oh,
then she was like, yeah. I was like, oh. And then she was like, like it's something that I need to get used to, but like I love you, so. And that was very nice. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I feel like after that, it just, I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't hiding anymore. Like I don't think that you have to like tell people come out
no.
to be your authentic self. But for me, I think that was important to me that the people around me that I cared about knew. And yeah, it just that was that. And like I kind of then after that went on to, like dating and exploring that. And I had a lot of ups and downs where I was like, oh, actually, I don't think I am. And but then I was like, I don't like men. Do I like men? And I think that I had so much pressure on myself to put a label on it.
Yeah.
Um, so now I don't have like labels. Like I think because I think sexuality is pretty fluid. Some people might disagree, but I think for me, it's like I have periods where I might be a bit more attracted to men. And then I have
I
period, but like I don't think
feel
my attraction for women never like goes down.
changes,
I think
goes
for
down.
women it's a consistent, whereas for men sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But like yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm not like, oh, like, I'm a lesbian or I'm bisexual or because like I am just me and I am gay. And that is okay. It's okay to be gay.
It really
Yeah.
is. It really is. Oh, what a beautiful story. That's so
Oh, thank
wholesome.
you. Is it? It's a
I think
bit
it's wholesome. I think it's really wholesome.
thing. Fair enough. It's cute, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It was confusing at the time, but I think like I'm definitely a lot more. Well, yeah, there's a lot more in it within it, but like we could probably talk about like the whole. Because I think for me, there's like then there's like identity and how you present yourself as a gay woman, and then yeah, like that'll be an interesting thing to explore as well. But yeah, are you gonna tell your one?
Yeah, let's move on to the next segment. We're back. And with me, you know what? I have always felt like I was a little bit different to other people. At the time, I thought it was maybe ego, but I don't know. When you think you're special, right? But then, I don't know. And then I think I was like 13, and like for some odd reason, that's when I was sort of like on YouTube and I was finding out more about gay people. And then I was like super out of the blue, mind you, this is when I thought I was straight. I went to my dad and I went to my mom and I was like separately, individually. I was like, what would you guys do if I was gay? And you know, like people will be like, we'll love you regardless. And I was like,
Mm,
I don't think I am, but I'm just wondering, like, how would you react and stuff? And they're like, oh, you know, we'll be fine. Da, da, da. Fast forward to when I was like 16, I started to, one friend of mine, she came out as bisexual. And then I was like,
mm,
you know what? That makes sense. Because I always felt like I had a crush on this one friend of mine. I'm not going to say who it is. I mean,
mm,
not really friends right now. If you're hearing this, you might know who you are. But yeah, so it's like, I felt like, yeah, there was like one night where I really felt like, I was, sleepover stuff. I just really felt like kissing her. And I was just there like, wait a minute, am I? And then I was like, huh, probably am. So then
mm,
when I moved schools, when I moved from like Europe to the US, when I started my new school, I was like, yeah, I'm bisexual. Like I just said that to everybody.
mm.
That's when I met my nemesis who was like obsessed with me, and that's a whole other story. The nemesis. Anywho, that's a saga, but that's a saga you'll never hear about. Please, I'm not
No,
crazy.
some
But
things are
yeah,
kept
like,
offline.
do you know what? I think the craziest part of it all is that a lot of the girls that I went to school with, they were like, "Oh, I had a crush on you," and I was like, "You had a crush on me?" And I was like, "Was I just oozing like gayness and I didn't know about it? I probably
She was
just
just so
was."
cool. Like she was just so cool.
They were probably like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my God, you." It was so sad. I
That's the
think.
thing though, you know. I feel like sometimes I feel like, oh, even if I don't look like, I guess like stereotypically, like in terms of what I wear, if I look more feminine, like I feel like I just give gay. Like there's been time like people have like asked people that I know, it's like, is she gay? And I'm like, am I giving gay? Like, is it just an energy
Probably,
thing? I
I
don't
feel
know,
like you
maybe.
are. I think you give gay. You give gay a lot. I think back in the day, maybe not so much, but now you give gay. Now
No, I
you give.
give gay. In what way do I give gay?
The
How do
way
I
you
give
dress,
gay?
first of all,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one, fair enough. Yeah.
or maybe you just dress like a dancer. So dancers also just be dressing
That's
like
true. Sometimes with dancers, you can't tell, you know, because
you
they be
really
dressing
can't.
gay as bleep, and you don't know.
That's so real.
Anywho, sorry, sidetrack. You were saying.
Nah, it's all good. And then essentially, it was my 18th birthday. We went to Nobu. Great sushi, super expensive,
Okay,
not worth it. Not
bleep.
worth it. Sorry, Nobu, New York. Not worth it. Go somewhere else for your sushi, girl. Um, so then so it was my birthday, whatever. And then I came out to my mom and my sister, and then they were like, "Oh, it's all fine." Da, da, da. My mom was more like, "Oh, I didn't expect this." And then I started
Mm,
crying because I thought like it was gonna go really bad. And they're like, "Why are you crying? It's okay." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I guess that's when I came out, but I was very much aware that I was bisexual for a very long time. So, and
mm,
then my other friends came out after me, and I was like, I'm not surprised we're all friends. So it's like, I would say a majority of my friends are actually just like queer people, just by
really.
coincidence. And I'm not surprised we all befriend each other. So,
Yeah, it's like neurodivergent people kind of find each other, don't we?
basically.
Yeah,
We?
that's interesting. What?
Huh?
Huh? What? Different topic.
That's another month, girl. That's another month.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll find out the day of that one.
real.
Um,
So I guess that was my
yeah.
coming out story. But then I guess it's a little bit different when you start like dating people and it's like, oh, this is my girlfriend. That's when it's like
Mm,
for me, I guess
that's when
back.
it gets real for your family.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
They're
gonna
like,
lie. Like
oh,
that's what
oh,
I'm
you
saying.
gay, gay.
Bro, like, bro, that's
Yeah.
kind of what happened to my mom. She's like, oh, you're gay, gay. I was like, oh. She's like, but wait, you're bisexual. Don't you have a choice? And I was like, that's not how it works, girl. She's like, don't you have a choice to be with man? And I was like, but who wants to be with man? And she goes,
I mean,
Yeah, so it's like I think I just those are the only like people I came out to. Other people figured it out. Also, like I literally wear a rainbow on my like wrist. If you haven't caught on, that's not my problem. But someone
Maybe you
almost
just like rainbow.
tr- girl bye. On my brother's on my brother's wedding, one of his uncles on his mom's side, I think he must have told his uncle that I'm a bisexual. This man almost outed me to my dad, and I was like,
Oh
he was like, he must have been drunk, and he's like, "Oh, you're the gay one." I said, I was like, "Oh,
no, you
dude."
had to
I was
caveat
like,
quick.
"Oh my god."
Would have
But
been
he
a
was,
long day.
dude, it would have been the longest day. But he was talking so much shit. My dad was like, "Why are you talking so much, bro? Shut up." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That would have been a
See,
very
men don't really listen. No offense to the men, actually, offense. Men don't really listen, so I feel like you probably
a
got
mile."
away with that one because it probably just went over his head.
It was a
So,
stressful last date. He don't even.
yeah.
But like I said, if you haven't figured it out, like I have one uncle who like looked at my wrist and he's like, I remember it was the damn I'm yapping so much today. It was the Qatar World Cup. So like obviously the rainbow was there and like Qatar was very much like, oh, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna have
Mm.
rainbows and stuff. And he goes, Qatar don't like that rainbow. And I was like, oh, he caught on.
Oh,
So some of my uncles, like some people do know because
not Ricardo like that
I've never
rainbow.
hidden anything. Like I feel like I'm those people where it's like
Yeah,
I've never felt the need to like come out because I'm just there like
yeah.
if you haven't figured it out, figure it out.
And also, it's not like it's actually not people's business. Like, no
No,
one, you do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's like if you feel the need to, like, for example, me, like, I felt like it just for me, I wanted to do that, like, with
that's
the people that are in my life. But I think, like now, like, I don't come out every time I meet someone new. I'm not like, hello, my name is Inez and I am gay. Sometimes I do. It depends. But like I think it's like yeah, like I don't it's not my it's part of who I am and it's definitely
yeah,
my identity, but it's not like my identity if that makes sense. Where it's like
no,
I'm not just
it's just like
like
one thing.
you, like I'm a, I like to I don't know what do I like to do? I like going to farms as well and like that
Literally
was
playing
like
to
I could
dogs,
have given any other example apart from going to farms. Wow. What else? I like to pole dance. Yes,
stuff
that's
like
kind of
that.
gay though. But yeah,
Next segment. And we're back. So it is. What are we talking about next?
these big ass muscles. No, I'm joking. So
Yeah, I don't
just
know who
just wanted
that's
to let
for.
everyone know that like yeah, as of like um March 2026, Inez officially became a gym baddie and she's on the journey of getting a six pack and big ass
Getting
muscles. You see that?
biceps. He's gonna have a
That's basically
sexy
it.
bag. So for those
Come
of you
on.
who are interested, please reach out to me and I will put you in contact.
I've got rock solid quads as well, guys. And
Love to hear that.
I could leg press 130 kg. So
Whoa,
I can yeah, just get on my feet and I'll lift you up.
whoa.
Anyway. Um
Again, if
if
anybody needs Inez in their life, reach out.
anyone needs some lifting up, if they're in a low place and they need lifting up, let me know.
Definitely.
Soon we'll be able to do a pull-up, so don't worry, I'll be able to save you if you fall off a cliff as well.
100%.
But
You heard it here, folks.
now that I've said it here, like I have to do it. Like that's the now
Basically.
there's pressure. We're gonna talk about like labels and stuff and like me and like I guess like and kind of I guess also the stigma around being bisexual, and the kind of yeah, and like
I have
all
a
that jazz. Yeah. I think for me personally, I don't really have a label.
hmm
Um, Simply because I personally think like in my experience, sexuality is quite fluid,
no.
where like I've dated men, I've been with men, I've also been with women. I know like I think for me, the reason I don't have a label is because I think my confusion isn't about whether I like women, it's about whether I like men because I
Oh,
know I like women. Men, I feel like currently I think they're like physically I can appreciate like a good looking man, but then in terms of like building a life with a man, like
ah, they
having a
open their
relationship, having a
mouths and
romantic
then
feeling. Honestly,
everything goes
girl,
down the drain.
listen. I'm sure there's lovely men out there, but no hate to the male species. But yeah, you open your mouth and I'm just like, next. So like I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, and I did recently like go on a couple dates with men
Hmm.
and they kind of just reinforced like my feelings about how I just
Which is
don't.
upsetting because it's like you want to go on a date
Yeah.
and you want to feel like, oh, and then it's like, do
No.
you know what it is for me?
Yeah.
It's like someone will like tick a lot of the boxes and then they'll say one thing and it's like, oh,
Right? I say, oh no.
what
Yeah,
do you
it
mean
is
by
that.
that?
And the thing is, it won't be like an unreasonable thing. It's not like, oh, he bent down to tie up his shoelaces. Like,
No, it'll be
the
like
hell girl
one,
be like, oh,
dude, it'll be like a major thing that they say or
yeah.
do, and
It's
it's
like
like, nah, bro, I
it's a
can't
fundamental like core value kind of thing. And it's like I don't know
core
if that's
value. It's like,
yeah.
but then again, it's
Or
like,
they're
but
just being like possessive, or this is going to become toxic. And I feel like it's very easy to spot that with men. Um, for me, anyways, I feel like I can tell straight away, like
I
if
mean, we're
that's
also
going to be
grown now, so
yeah.
I would hope that we're able to spot certain things.
Mm-mm. But yeah, so I don't really like I consider myself like a gay woman. There was a period where I was like, oh, I'm lesbian, but then it's like I still would have it like be attracted to men. So I'm like, I don't know. So I'm just out here,
Fair
like I'm just
enough.
vibing and I like women. But I think in terms of yeah, like I think also like being bisexual, there's such a stigma around it. Like if you want to talk more on it, like
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, I'm more maybe it's because of where I am, where I feel like the dating pool or the people around me just a lot of people are like, "Oh, I didn't know you were bi. You look so straight." And I'm like, "Oh, nah."
Really?
I'm
What?
like, "I'm straight." But
And
I
you
don't
could
know.
just lift
I'm
up your
like,
wrist with your rainbow bracelet.
basically, I'm like, "You think I'm straight?" Yeah,
That's
sure,
hilarious.
whatever. But so then it's like I feel like I've become more attracted to men when previously I feel like I was more attracted to women. But then I engage with said men and I'm like, nah, you look good. That's it. Your body look
Exactly.
good, your face look good, your mouth opens and
Okay. They don't
so
sound
then
good.
not at all. So it's like I know I'm
Yeah.
very much bi, but I think I'm more comfortable identifying as queer nowadays because I'm like I think it's
Mm.
just a more of like a whole thing as opposed to me just being like bi and then because then it's like how do you dress? How do you identify? Like how do you go about your day? And it's like I feel very queer in this current moment.
Interesting. Yeah,
I
I've never really like fully like understood what that meant. Like I thought it just meant gay. Like, is there like a specific meaning behind queer compared to just saying gay? Or like,
I'm not sure, but
I have to research that.
maybe it's
But
like
yeah,
I don't know, it depends. I think it's just like for a time I did think people who were saying they're queer, like y'all are just afraid to like and to like stick to a label. It's like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
mm,
That's what it felt like to me. Or even, oh, this is gonna sound so controversial, but even being like, oh, I'm pansexual, that also felt like to me at the time, I was like, that's
mm.
kind of like an umbrella term for bisexuality. It's like under the bi umbrella.
Like I guess it's more so like you like every like anyone. It doesn't
True,
matter
but
about their like
yeah, but it's like as
gender.
when
Yeah.
you considered yourself bisexual, did you ever feel like you wouldn't date somebody who was trans or non-binary? No.
Oh,
Exactly, right? So I'm kind of like,
yeah.
bisexual doesn't mean only two of the two genders,
But
right?
that's the thing, I think but that's probably why, maybe because bisexual is like male, like you like men or
Male,
women,
female,
but like cisgender
male, female.
male yeah. Whereas maybe pansexual is like all genders or like all kind of pe like how people identify non-binary,
Hmm.
trans. But I'm not entirely sure. But like for me, I'm just existing. But like I
Very
remember
true.
like when I first started dating like women, there was one girl who said to me, like I said, oh, so like, like, are you like into women? And she said, I like what I like. And I was a bit like, what does that mean? Like that kind of threw me off a bit. But I kind of like I don't know if me saying I have no label gives that kind of that vibe, but like I feel like I know that like I think I'm confident in the fact that I like women. It's not like a questioning thing.
Hmm.
So I don't feel the need to like identify with anything because again, sexuality is fluid. But with the whole like kind of stigma with being bisexual, I do think that there is this whole thing that being a bi woman, people kind of like lesbian women tend to kind of be like, because um bi women have this kind of reputation of like or stereotype rather of liking men more, or like they get worried that like, like they're like kind
Yeah.
of experimenting with women and then like they're gonna go back to a
Either
man
way, yeah,
or
exactly.
but it's like and that's I guess that can be difficult. And I definitely kind of if I've seen that someone's bi, like for example on like a dating app, I have also been a bit like, ooh, because like do
Really?
you like yeah, I have like if I'm being completely honest, because I don't know what that like what does that look like? Do you
For you, yeah.
yeah, like do you
Yeah.
is it like you want to experiment with women? Have you been with women? So like, and I think that's something that I have to unlearn as well, in terms of like my kind of prejudice. But like, I get why that's hard. And also like, for example, as a bisexual woman, if you've like now dated a man and people are like, oh, so you're not gay anymore. And it's like,
That's the worst one. This is what I was
yeah,
saying,
that's
where
the
it's
thing.
like, listen,
Yeah.
even if even if you're a baby gay, it's you're still a baby gay. If you've only dated men, you that doesn't take away your identity as a bisexual person or a queer person
Yeah.
at all. So like, I hate that. I also hate the. I've encountered these people a lot where it's like, I'm bisexual, but I feel like I could never date a woman. And it's like, what
Mm,
are you doing?
so then,
And it's like,
yeah.
why are you here? I
And
mean,
that
not to be
also
rude, but why are you here?
that also kind of just reinforces like the sexualization that we get as women, where it's like, oh, I'd have sex with a woman, but I wouldn't date her. And it's like, so are we just like even like to other women, like we're being now
Sexual.
deemed as sexual. And it's like,
Yeah,
I'm a human, like, like I
I
have
have
feelings and all
feelings.
that. And it just reinforces that kind of heteronormative, like misogynistic view around
It's so annoying.
women. But yeah, no, it is. I definitely experienced a lot of like questioning people when I guess I was, figuring out things, but like people that kind of were like, oh, I want to try stuff out, but like didn't really know. And like that's not like now, yeah, no, you're not trying. I'm not your guinea pig, like respectfully.
Bi
Like I want,
curious?
no, I
Get
want gay
the bi
women. I
away
want
from
a
me.
woman that, do you know what I mean? Like I want a gay woman, but like, yeah, no, or like. What is it with like some gay women who like straight women? It's like, what's
That's
going
an
on?
ego. I feel like that's a I for me personally, I think that's an ego thing. That's like a man thing. It's like you're trying to compete with men and you can't. You cannot.
It's strange
I don't
because
know what
it's
you're
like
doing. That's it.
go
For
for
me,
someone who likes women. Like what?
for me
But
that's a whole ego thing. And also it comes off really manipulative because what? In
mm,
my I
or like, oh, I can change them kind of thing.
yeah,
And
and it's
it's
like,
like,
wait a minute, what?
no, I wouldn't. I like, yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting. There is a lot of like different like kind of
There
intersectional
is. But
like there's
do you know
loads of
what's
things that go on
there
with
are, and
femininity.
then what's crazy is that I've even had like the men that I've dated be like, "Oh, but what if you leave me for a woman one day?" And it's like, that's not how it works. We're not bisexual people
Yeah.
or even queer people are not like these like sex crazed individuals that are
You know
like,
what I mean? Unless you're like
woman,
polyamorous and you want to
basically,
be, yeah, or you're a
or
cheater.
cheater.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
like
you're a cheater.
like it's not just because you're bisexual, oh, because I like both, I'm now gonna cheat on you, a woman. Like it's like, no, I'm in a committed relationship with you and
Literally, with you,
I'm
that's it.
also
That's
attracted to women.
basically.
But like if I'm yeah, it's the same. You could say the same thing when people straight people do it too, like where it's like, oh, well, you could leave me for another. If I was straight, you could leave me for another
The
woman, and it's
woman,
like
basically. It's like we don't enter the
like that.
room and like we
Yeah,
go crazy. It's like we're not sex
yeah,
crazed
exactly.
individuals.
I
And
think,
people, yeah, and it's like, oh, people think
or
that,
men
oh,
being like, oh, you're bi, so like, do you want to have a threesome?
don't say it. Don't say it.
No.
I lie. I'm like, no,
Excited. When I've spoken to men and told them that I like women too, they're like, oh, okay. And it's like,
no,
weirdo. No.
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 Even, let me say, let's say that
Yeah.
I do want one. Just because you said that I don't.
No, I don't.
I really don't.
Exactly.
I
The
don't.
fact that you've even like, yeah, I've, def
Thought
I've
about
I've definitely met men that are like just chill, like they won't say weird shit like that, but like a lot of them will. Like it's like, oh, so you like women too? And it's like, again, that whole sexualization, like, oh yeah, like I can have two. Like it's just like
I had
it's
one
strange.
I had one guy be like, "Oh, so what's the ratio?" And it's like, "Ratio?
Or
What?"
like, or I think people also feel like you've mentioned this before, like with some, like how someone like people feel very comfortable to ask about like gay sex as well. Like, also like, what do you guys do? And it's like. I don't go up to like a straight
They
couple and be
press
like, so how do you guys have
sex.
sex?
Literally,
Like
how do
it's strange. Like
how
I get okay, it's different to how you might do it, but then also it's like it's none of your business. It's actually
I
none of your
have
business. But yeah. I
just
also, sorry, going back to that whole point of labeling, I also think as well, like you're not obligated to tell anyone how you
definitely
identify.
not.
'Cause, do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to be like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Like it's also like that's your business, like, you know? So I don't think with the whole labeling thing as a gay person, like don't feel that you have to come out every time and be like, oh, I'm this or I'm that or explain yourself. Like, because no one like, again, no one is like,
It's none of your literal business. Unless is it on your ID? Shut up then. It's not on your passport, is it? We don't have to know. Basically, is how I feel. Next
yeah.
segment. We are back. So, Inez, what would you want to speak about in this segment?
I think that one of the things that like I think definitely comes up a lot being like gay is like how we should present ourselves, whether that's like the clothes we wear, the way we act, what we
For
do, do
sure.
you know what I mean?
No,
So
100%.
I definitely feel like when I like came out, like I would say that I've when I was like, especially when I was younger, I was definitely more like feminine presenting,
Mhm.
like in terms of like the clothes that I wore, the things that I liked. But I think that I guess you know about like the male gaze and stuff, and like
Yeah.
how, like we kind of are. So it's like yeah, subconsciously like kind of. I had a little brain fart.
No, it's all good. Like, is it a thing where it's like you subconsciously like you're like, oh yeah, I want to be more like I want to dress more quote unquote gay, but it's like gay from whose perspective and from whose like point of view, from whose lens. Does that make sense?
Oh, I was talking less about being gay, but more about like how, I guess before I came out, in terms of like the male perspective, sorry,
Yeah.
male gaze, I think that like we as women, like from the things that we consume on like TV or like stories, books, all of those things as
Yeah,
children growing up, it's always been very heteronormative, like the
for
woman and the man
sure.
and like the woman like looking pretty and like and all of those things and like we kind of like kind of unconsciously, subconsciously like dress for
Well, the male.
men.
Yeah.
Um, and like and that usually consists of more feminine clothing, more revealing clothing, clothing that accentuates our figures, putting on
Yeah.
makeup, even if it's not necessarily what we want to do. And I when I started to kind of unlearn those things, I think like especially when I got to uni, I started to unlearn that. Um, I don't know, it just opened up a whole new world of like a whole new world of
Don't you
like
dare close your eyes.
I can show you the world. Um, it opened up like a whole like yeah new world of like kind of just me exploring like my fashion, like the things I actually liked wearing. I'm a sensory babe, so like I love a good
Mhm.
like baggy like trouser or like top. So I think that was really nice, but I think that also came with me now having this perception that being gay meant I had to dress more masculine
Oh,
and
for
appear more
sure.
masculine. And like I, like I played football and stuff, like not
Mhm.
because of being gay, but like I enjoyed playing football. I enjoyed doing, sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's rewind. It's nothing to do with the football. I think the struggles that I was experiencing was
Mhm.
that um I think when I first came out, I wanted people to know, like, if that
That
makes
you were
sense. Like, so I
okay.
feel like
Yeah, I get.
first was like, oh, like if I put this thing on, is it like gay? Like if I wear loads of rings or if I wear like more artsy
Mhm.
clothes or, move a certain way. But as, obviously becoming a more mature gay, I realized that there's no right way
There
to be gay.
really
There's
is
women that
not,
are like super feminine
and
that
are
are
full on lesbian.
yeah, and there's women that are like super masculine that are gay, or probably not. They just like to dress like more masculine.
Masculine. Yes.
And then you have women that are super feminine that are more like dominant. Like I think there's all that thing around like people like to ask, oh, so who's the man? And it's like, well, there's no man
Man,
because it's two women.
literally,
But
there
like
is no man.
there's such a heteronormative like
View.
perspective even on like two women in a relationship that it's like there has like people can't fathom the fact that there's two women like
Dating.
in a relationship and that there's like
No
there
man.
has to be someone. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, and I think for me, like, I feel like I'm naturally, everyone has their preferences. Some people like someone who's a bit more kind of takes the leadership role, someone who's a bit more like sit back, relax. But I think for me,
Mhm.
I like a bit of both, but I would say that like having been quite independent growing up, I naturally do take that leadership role. But as I'm getting older, I'm trying to allow people to do things for me as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like I'm not I don't like being told what to do, but I also
Yeah.
don't I don't like I will do it, but like it's nice to allow someone to do things for you. So I think in terms of my preference, I'd like someone who's we can like alternate, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sometimes
fair
someone
enough.
takes the lead, sometimes rather than it being like this one person, it's what they say goes, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
everyone's different, and I think
Everyone is different. Do
yeah.
you know what's funny? I was even watching a video this morning talking about like, I just put some random YouTube like essays on, and it's like this person was talking about how, oh, the dating culture is so like bad at the moment, and then since they were like gay, and they sort of like what is it called? They like sort of inserted like a TikTok into their video where there was another gay, like black gay guy being like, I don't understand what like heterosexual like modern dating is like. People are like, oh, it's so difficult to find someone who does this and does that, and they're like, I don't have those problems.
There is
I
no
get
expectation here.
I don't have those expectations. People in my community, the way I've experienced dating, I've never had that issue, or I'm not currently experiencing the issue that like heterosexual
Mm,
people are experiencing. And it's like, that's so real if you like, because since, like you were saying, everything seems to be from like a hetero, like normative, like lens. And it's like,
yeah.
I'm not going through that. That's not something that I'm
Yeah.
experiencing. Like, he was trying to be, like, he was even being funny, like, yeah, I get to see people not going on dates. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that part, but yeah, just stuff like that where it's like, oh, emotional intelligence, we have it.
Mm,
You know what I
mm,
mean?
yeah.
It's like, it's like,
You'd be surprised. Like I think, yeah, it's
it's like,
funny because people also say stuff like, "Oh, like sometimes like straight women will be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna date women. It's easier." I'm like, "Girl,
no, it's
it's
not.
not.
It's
It's
not.
not." Imagine like yourself times by two. Like we're emotional. Like you know,
I mean, I'm
um.
crazy, so like, I still dating someone like myself. I'm like, that's insane.
Oh Lord. Yeah, like I
Sorry.
think there is definitely like dating women. I've like definitely understood men a little bit more in a sense, not
Mm-hmm.
from the misogynistic point of view, but like definitely from like in terms of like sometimes yeah, it is sometimes a bit hard to navigate us because yeah, I think we do well I know myself like I do lead with emotion for the most part. So I think sometimes our thought processes are not always like direct, where I think from what I've kind of seen with a lot of men is that they're very much like ABC, whereas women it's like A, F, Z,
I don't
W.
know which men these are, but the men that
Oh
I have
no.
dated have been the
Oh,
most emotional creatures
oh
ever.
yeah,
I feel
fair
like the
enough.
coldest bitch in the room. And I'm just there like, clearly I'm the quote unquote man of this relationship because I'm here coming in with this logic and you're here like crying, doing a whole lot, being super emotional for nobody's business.
I
They're
do
like,
feel like that. I feel like that also does stem from like the expectations of men of being like the strong one or like the
no, for
kind of
sure.
and like I'm sure there is a lot of emotional men, but they feel like they can't show it, and maybe it's only when they get like comfortable they will. But
Or
yeah,
even
I mean, I haven't
overwhelmed.
overwhelmed. Yeah, I haven't dated men for well, I haven't dated men for a while, so I feel like okay, we don't we like as in like in a sense of
Oh,
like being in a relationship with a
relationship with
man. Like
that, yeah.
I've had we
Dates
don't
with
talk
them.
about the date, but like I guess it's more so like been in like a long-term relationship with a man has been the last time that happened was when like that was like college days. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
That's
yeah, I
mad.
haven't had an adult relationship with a man, so I don't know what they're like now. But like yeah, and I yeah, I digress. I don't know where I'm going with this point. The point I'm making is that it's not easier dating women. I
No.
think it's better personally. Like I think the connections I've built with women have
Hmm.
been like really beautiful, and I think we can connect in a different way. And like I don't know, it's nice. But yeah, and I definitely feel like I did struggle with like the whole like expectation thing was like, oh, like, you know, kind of even like going on dates of like, okay, so who pays and like how does that work? And and I guess for everyone it's different because some people they have like, for example, you split stuff or like if someone
Mm-hmm.
asks, they covered like the thing because
Bill.
they've
Yeah,
taken the
exactly.
bread. That for me, logically, that makes the most sense. Like if it's
For
like,
sure.
okay, I've invited you on a date,
I'm paying
I'm
for the
gonna
date.
cover it.
Yeah.
And maybe if like if you want, you can get us the drinks or whatever, but I'm not, there's no expectation. Whereas I think I can I don't sympathize, but I was gonna say like I can feel no, like with men, I feel like it's like there is this big expectation of like they have to pay, but
They
then I
make more
think that
money
also
than us. That's my
yeah,
justification. Sorry.
so it's like there is that pressure for them, but I feel like it that also um again like going from dating a man to then dating a woman and having to kind of unlearn all those like heteronormative like
Mm-hmm.
procedures. That was definitely a some interesting navigation challenge. That was something that was interesting to navigate. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you feel like when you first started dating women, like, did you have all those thoughts and kind of questions around like, oh, like, like dating and the kind of roles that each person plays, or do you feel like it was kind of easy for you?
It felt more comfortable. That's what I'll definitely say. I felt like a lot more at ease and like you said earlier, like there was a better understanding of certain things. So I think I'm the type of person who I like to date people who are very similar to me so that I
Mm,
don't have to explain certain things because it's like almost unsaid, which is again a crazy statement because then it's like, wait, do you just want to date yourself? And it's like,
maybe.
maybe I do.
I don't know if I would want to date myself. Would I? Maybe. I don't know. That would be interesting.
But like, yeah, so just someone who's really similar to me.
I hear it.
So
Just thought
yeah,
process one.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly. Where it's like you don't have to explain certain things because I don't have to explain to you like, yeah, I'm on my period, so da da da. Da. And oh, I'm
Yeah.
feeling this way because that and it's just
Mm.
understood. It's just understood. Or even like general like experiences where it's like, oh, this person did this today. Is that like misogyn? Oh, it was like misogynistic for this reason, or da da da, or
Mm.
patriarchy this, and it's like I don't have to like
Deal with that.
deal with that or like hide certain or sugarcoat certain parts of my daily experience because I'm with a woman. And
Yeah.
again, it becomes easier because again, if you're dating a black woman, it becomes easier in that sense. And
Mm,
maybe
mm, mm,
I'm like,
mm,
oh, if I was dating an African woman, again, there would be those things that are like
mm.
unsaid and
Or if
unspoken
I
that
was
I'm
just dating myself, like I just wouldn't have
do
to
you
say
know what I
anything.
mean? Guys, when I tell you
And that's how
I
it's like narrowing down to
I'm
like
like, wait, it's just me. Wow, it's me. It's
maybe
like
just look in the mirror, babe. Yeah.
if you see
That's
me at
funny.
40 being by myself, living my best life, it's because I should have dated myself all along. That's
Fair
pretty
enough.
much it.
Sometimes, you know what, I've realized that single life is very peaceful. It's very nice. So I think when you do like date, as like for example me, like I've recently started like dating again. And I
You
guess
sound
going
scared.
I don't it's scary in a sense of like, obviously it's vulnerability, it's giving your time to like people, making connections with, you don't know where it's gonna go. You might have bad dates. Like I've had some not like great experiences, which kind of made me feel like, oh, I don't want to date anymore. But it's like, I guess it feels like a kind of a commitment and an intentional commitment. But I think that um going for I don't know, what I've noticed is that going from like being single for a long period of time to then like now intentionally dating again, sorry, to dating again, I feel like I am a lot more intentional because like I've worked on myself and I've kind of learned to be at peace with myself and figure out the things that I want. So then when I'm looking at people, I'm like, okay, I want X, Y, and Z. Like, so it kind of helps you kind of clear out what doesn't align with that, if that makes sense.
No, but
But yeah, no, I what else? Yeah, so I think in terms of the whole presenting thing, I think
mhm.
like I definitely felt it a lot. Like I know, for example, because obviously like you like were the first like woman that I was in a relationship with, and I feel like
Crazies.
I feel like, we I don't think that either of us were like more like masculine or more like feminine. I think
Not at
that
all.
kind of that relationship definitely made me feel like, okay, cool, I can be with someone who's like who can be a bit of both, and that works for
Damn.
me as a yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't have to like there doesn't have to be a man, but like
Yeah, no, I
or
don't.
like a more masculine person. But I think that what I did feel was like, oh, like, should I like be that? Should I be more masculine, or should I? And like there was that pressure, and then it was about I definitely had like a period of time where like I was kind of like struggling with like my how I looked, and like like I wanted to like cut my hair, I wanted to do all these things, and
Mhm.
like I did cut my hair,
Yes.
but that came more from a thing of like I wanted to feel change, but that definitely did help me feel a lot more what's the word, um like what's it, like confirming, like kind of there's a way of like describing when you feel more confirmed in your like sexuality or something,
Is it like what? Is
gender,
that
I don't know.
confirmation bias? That doesn't
Like,
sound
no, it's just like you just feel okay now. The way I look helps me feel more about how I feel internally, if that makes sense. So, like, having the
okay.
short hair, like,
Oh,
does
well,
seem a
like,
bit more
do you
masculine.
feel like you're, let me not say dysphoria, but like, did you have like some sort of
I
like,
don't know. I think it was just more that, oh, I felt like I needed to look a certain way to show
but
that or to kind of like feel gay, quote
okay,
unquote.
yeah,
But the thing is, like, as like time passed, like, I loved the short hair. Like, it wasn't just because of that, and I enjoyed like the change and I loved it. But I think as time passed, I realized, oh, I don't actually need to like dress more masculine or dress more feminine. Sorry, dress more masculine
more
or
feminine.
have short hair. Like,
Mhm.
and like I've since been grown, and I feel like the way that I dress now changes. Sometimes I feel like I want to dress more masculine. Sometimes I want to be more feminine. And right now I'm in my feminine era, and I'm loving it. Like, I think
Real shit.
with femininity as well, like I dance and like I've always done like hip hop, but recently I've been doing more like commercial, more like
Mhm.
kind of feminine dancing, and that's really like opened up this comfortability. 'Cause I think femininity is definitely something as women that we've been told to kind of we are shamed for like being expressive and like like being sexual beings and all of that. And I think dance has allowed me to kind of see a different side of that where I can express that, but it is quite vulnerable, like being
For sure.
sexy. Do you know what I mean? But that's like I love that side of myself as well, and I also love the more like masculine side of myself. But and I doesn't either way I'm gay. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Basically,
do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. But I think there like definitely is like with like more feminine presenting gay women, I think there is more of a struggle in terms of like being approached because other gay women might not know
they
that you're
try.
gay. And
Yeah.
it's like,
That's why you should, I mean, just go out there, see if it happens, see if it doesn't. But
mm,
yeah, I think we're gonna like I'm gonna talk about this more in the next segment, but there's also this element of like people you're still gay and you're still whatever you identify, even if you haven't had those experiences. I think I
true.
used to feel very like, oh damn, I'm not like bi enough because I still haven't like slept with a woman or haven't done this with a woman. And it's like, no, you still are. It doesn't take like just because you haven't
Yeah,
had X, Y, and Z doesn't take away your identity in that sense.
yeah.
So yeah,
Like, we can definitely talk about that whole like labeling thing as well. That's an
for
interesting.
sure. But let's move on to the next segment.
I think this Pride Month is also important to reflect on like the intersectionality of being like a queer person. Because I think a lot of it is centered around being like white and queer, but it's like that's not my
Mm,
experience at all in any way, shape, or
mm,
form.
mm,
So I think it's also been good for me to sit down with like my queer friends that are not like the let me not say I can't say conventional, but
mm.
the queer that is promoted, I guess. Let me say that.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely, because I think our experience is definitely going to be different.
Yeah.
Whether it's like, you know, culturally in terms of how accepting the people around us might be, whether that's
Mhm.
friends or family, whether religion is involved. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting to talk about as well. Like,
What are your thoughts on religion and being queer from a
well, I guess it's like for
Christian
me, like,
perspective? Yeah.
huh? Yeah, I guess like I grew up Catholic.
Hmm.
Um, because I went to Catholic school and like I was born in Spain and like just yeah, traditionally you just are Catholic. Like I got baptized when I was a baby, all of that stuff. And my family are from like a small village in Spain, so like it's quite religious. Um, but I think it was just part of like my life. Like I wasn't something I gave much thought to. I went to Catholic
Right.
school, we prayed, we went to church. And then it was only when I moved to a new secondary school when I was 14. It was a
Wait,
performing arts
stop.
school. Yeah, no. So the school when I moved schools, the school I
Yeah.
went to was we didn't have like religious studies anymore. It wasn't a religious school. It was a performing arts school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there was no like, yeah, we didn't pray, we didn't go to church, all of those things. So it was very different. I think it was also a relief in a way. Like I feel like I think because I went to a religious secondary, a religious primary, it was just it was everything was kind of centered around that and like not that it was necessarily bad, but I think I took it for granted in a way of that was my life. So it was nice to be in something new, like like for example, in my Catholic school, we had to stand up every time the teachers came in
Oh
to the
wow, okay,
classroom.
that's serious.
Our skirts had to be below our knees. We had nuns. We had to pray. Like, there's nothing wrong with praying, but like, it was like it was very regimented in that way.
I was about to
Like,
be like, that is extremely regimented. Oof.
yeah, we went to church, blah blah blah. Like, it wasn't like intense in like a. It was just a very strict school. Let's put it that way, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it was a good school. But yeah, that I didn't question it because that's just what my life was. So it was
Right.
interesting moving and like having such a different perspective. But like, I didn't really, yeah. After that, I didn't really like think too much about it. Like I've always believed in something, in a
Right.
creator, but the way that I've like kind of practiced that belief or not practiced that belief has been different throughout my life. But I think also just, I guess in terms of family, like I had some negative experiences with like going to church where like it kind of was, I didn't really have a choice in it and like
Oh,
I had a negative association with it because it became this thing that I was obligated to do as
imposed.
opposed to
Yeah.
like I feel drawn to this. So
Yeah.
there was just a lot of pushback with like let's say like being in within a religion,
Mhm.
not necessarily faith, just religion. And then yeah, and I didn't like start questioning my sexuality until I went to uni.
Right.
So but I think that I always had that thought and it was always kind of one of those things that you just heard, which was like, you can't be religious or like believe in God or like go to church and be gay. It's like that's a sin, like, and
Yeah.
it's like cool. So then I think for me as well, like that was then also like, oh, um, I don't feel like this is a place for me, basically, because
Right.
I'm not, how can I go to church and pray and all of that, but then I'm also like gay. So
Yeah.
I
That'll
think it was a
they'll
big
do it for you.
it
They
was a,
will do it for you. Let me
they'll do
say
it.
that. As someone who
But it
felt
was
like
a
I was pushed
yeah,
out. I get that. So
I hear it. And like not everyone like so I've definitely had some experiences that have been not great in terms of like people like that are gay have, gone into religion and then ended up having people try to like, quote unquote fix them, which is just not okay. Like, come on now. But yeah, I had like, I knew a few people that were like, let's say evangelists,
hmm
uh, who did try to push their beliefs onto me. And I think I found, so then it was like at one point I was like reading the Bible and praying like in second year, I would say, but it didn't feel like what I wanted to do. I feel
Fair.
like I was doing it just because, and this same person had also like mentioned that being gay is a sin, like 'cause I had mentioned like, I like women, but like I, like, so can I do this too? And it's kind of, well, it's a sin. It's well, it was always the like you can think about it, that's fine, but the act of doing it is the sin. And I think I'm not gonna come on here and be like it's a sin, it's not a sin, like according to religion. But I think for me personally, like my beliefs
Yeah.
at this stage, like so, okay, fast forward, I now like I do go to church now and I do pray and I would consider myself religious, um, or like someone who is of faith and is
Right.
exploring religion and relationship with God. Because I had like a profound experience earlier this year.
Oh, nice.
And I found like a church that I feel very safe in, that feels very inclusive. There's not been no
Oh,
mention
that's
of,
oh,
you
that's
know, those things. Like, so I feel like, and I won't lie, like I definitely sometimes feel like, when is it gonna happen? When is someone gonna say it? Like, because I feel like if they do, like it will make me feel less safe. But
for
for
sure.
me, the focus has been like my relationship with God and just being a good person. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, because people, I think one, like, within most religions, I think all of them really, like, judging is a sin. Like, we're not meant to judge people.
Oh,
So it's like, that's, that's not for us to do, that's for God to do. Like, so if you think that you have this kind of, you're able to judge people, like, are you saying that you are, like,
above.
like above God or God? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's not for you to do. And like, also, it's actually no one's business. Like, no one needs, like, I'm not going to church, like, by the way, I'm gay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Literally,
and
like, yeah, no, that's what I was telling our other friend as well. I was kind of like, I don't ask, that's what we were kind of talking about, where it's kind of like, you don't ask people, but also I don't expect anyone to come out. And it's like, it's not something that will come up in conversation unless it really comes up in conversation. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't know why anybody would even like question that in my worldview, at least, in my worldview, but maybe in other people's worldviews, that's something they care about. But
100. And like, I think we've been taught as well, like, like God loves us
Mhm.
unconditionally, regardless of, the sin, the things that we do. Um, but yeah, like, I try not to dwell on that element too much. Like, I feel like I've been blessed a lot, like, especially like, and I feel like as I've been exploring my faith,
Yeah.
that that feeling that, I don't know, they felt like there was something missing. And like, I feel like faith was something that was, like, I feel so much lighter and so much more at peace for the most part. I have my days, but like, with like God in my life, or having a relationship with God. And I think I would say to anyone who is like,
Mm.
who is gay and like what is kind of considering religion, or like having a relationship with God and feels conflicted because of their like sexuality, I'd say don't let that stop you, because I think it definitely did stop me. But I'm glad that I've kind of just, and also what's so nice is that like my sister is Christian, like,
Mhm.
I go to the same church as her. Her family are all Christian. They know that I like women. No one there is judging me. So it's like, well, these people can be good Christians, good loving Christians, and love God and all of that stuff, and still accept me for who I am. So it's like there's space for you there. Like, so yeah, I don't know. It's still a journey for me, and I definitely feel like, but I would like, yeah, again, that's my sexuality is who I
Mm.
am. I'm not gonna, sorry, it's not gonna change how I like women, you know. But I also like Jesus, so I think, yeah, gosh, God, I hope I don't get cancelled. Gosh, that blasphemy. How
Why
can
would
you talk about God and gay in the same sentence? Blasphemous. But
I
yeah, man,
don't?
I don't know. It's just hey, people be doing crazy shit, and like, do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know. Yeah, I'm waffling, but long story short, I think it's been a journey. I'm still on that journey in terms of religion and sexuality and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's felt good for me so far. So good.
Oh, that's been beautiful to hear. I'm glad you're having such a like harmonious journey into getting back into religion more seriously. So
Mm.
that's beautiful. Oh. And we're back. And
Yeah.
I don't
Hello,
know, Inez,
hello.
how was it? How's it? How are you feeling? Thank you so much for coming on the pod once more. By the way, thank you. I really appreciate you being a recurring guest.
No worries.
Yeah, so how are
I
you
love how you
feeling?
said how you feeling, and then you just continued going on. Didn't give me a chance to. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling
You're
good.
feeling good. How are you feeling
Yeah.
today? How are you feeling about our conversation?
I feel I feel like it was nice to just kind of, yeah, just talk through things, and kind of like with someone who understands and can relate,
For
and
sure.
just air some things, and discover some things as well, like learn your perspective on like different topics, and you learn mine. And
So,
yeah, no, it's just interesting. It was nice to also just look back as well on like my journey, and like got me
true.
thinking as well. It's definitely been a journey.
I think the listeners will appreciate that. So I want to thank the listener for listening. Happy Pride Month
I was
once
gonna say I
again.
want to thank the Lord. I was like, Amen. Okay.
You can thank the Lord by all means.
Yeah, we thank God for this beautiful day, for this podcast, for
Yes,
Lexi, spreading a message, allowing people, giving people a platform to talk about different things. We love
yeah,
that.
we do love
Giving
that
herself a creative outlet.
for sure.
Oh, for my hair. We need to pray for my hair though.
You heard it here, folks. We need to pray for her hair. Anywho,
It's
thank you
time to
so
come
much
out.
for
No, this is actually
listening.
coming out. Like, I need someone to just cut it off while I'm sleeping. But guys, you can't see it right now, but I'm emotionally attached to this hairstyle that I've got. Like, but it's time to go. Like, respectfully, it's time to go. Like,
It is time to go. Thank you for listening to Lex and Lace podcast. I will catch you next week. Bye.